Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now it seems weird saying that, it seems weird. I think it's probably been 3, 4, maybe even 4 to 5 weeks since I was able to actually film a talking video. Now you would have seen my last video, it was a time-lapse video of Kirby Roseanne's new book. Now if you want to, I didn't want to do a flip through because there's so many flip throughs out there, but I can give you my opinion on the book, the new Alien Worlds one. But today I am colouring Mariola Budek's newest colouring page. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I don't like the colours that I chose for the leaves, but I finished them, so I'm just carrying on. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to end up reprinting this and then just trying different colours, maybe reds and pinks, or just all pinks. I don't know. I was a bit upset with myself last night, a bit annoyed with myself because I spent quite a while. But anyway, I've already started it off, so I'll just get a couple of colours out. I'm using light fast pencils. I want my lavender for the shadows. I don't actually use these all that often for skin tones, so I'm a bit of a newbie when it comes to these. Get a darker one just for the shadows. Chocolate, no, Van Dyke brown. Now we're Wednesday today, currently Wednesday, 8:45 at night. I've just finished coming from downstairs from sorting Isabelle out, and whoa, this past 3 weeks has just been, it's not the past 3 weeks, it's been the past 4 weeks, because the week before Isabelle was due to have her surgery, we had really bad issues with the school bus. Before I start, I'm just going to quickly sharpen these off camera and then come back. So, nice and sharp. They should last a little while now. And I just want to take this time as well to thank my old and new channel members, and because you've stuck through me between not uploading, not replying to comments, just basically not having the time and the headspace to do anything other than look after Isabelle. You've stuck by me, so thank you very much. And hopefully once the Easter holidays are out the way, then everything will resume as normal, because Isabelle is definitely on the road to recovery. Now I probably should have zoomed you in as well. Can you see how rusty I am? Honestly, it feels like ages. Yeah, so we had issues with the bus, so she didn't end up going to school the week before her surgery, so I had her off that whole week, when I'd literally planned out every single day what I was going to do and make backup videos, and it just never happened, and that stressed me out as it was. But I tried my best not to worry about YouTube too much. I mean, I'd made it quite aware, and I'd spoke about it a lot, the fact that what was coming up was quite serious and it'd take up all of my time. So, you know, everyone was aware and everyone was so lovely and said, don't worry about it, we'll be here when you come back. So that was really nice. And you know, I still was reading comments and stuff while I was in the hospital, and I had a couple of nice emails. So yeah, that was nice. But I think the best way, my husband said to me, you should have documented, even if it was just like 20-second clips, and then made it into like a video. And I said, to be honest, I want to forget about the whole thing now that we're back home and she's on the mend. I want to, yeah, she's had it done, brilliant, and it has been a success. I will get into more detail, but the actual going through the procedure and everything else, I just want to forget it. It's been the most difficult, apart from her being in hospital when she was born. Apart from that, it's been really challenging, and I've been joking to everyone that it's a good job of bleaching down my hair, because I would be grey by now. I would be grey. So the best way I think of me doing this is I have took a couple of pictures, so I'll be able to show you like and explain. Memories will come back then, because obviously it's been a long time. So this is the day of surgery. First of all, we got there And that morning, there I am there. That morning, it turns out that she had another water infection. Now, she suffers from them quite badly because she still wears nappies. She'll wear nappies for the rest of her life. And she just gets them. It's unfortunate. And we know straight away, I can't clip my fingers because I've got these gloves on. But we know straight away, both me and my husband, when she's got one. I'm sure if anybody's had one or had kids with that, you know instantly when they've got a water infection. So we had to tell the, I want to struggle saying this, anaesthesiologist, the ones that knock them out and put them to sleep. And her face, there was a little bit of worry on her face. I was like, why are you worrying? And then she left the room after going through all the different procedures that they have to go through and us signing paperwork. She looked quite worried. And Danny says to me, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do the surgery because of this. Because normally we have to give Isabelle antibiotics to clear them up. Her body will not naturally do it. Will not clear it up for whatever reason. She's got a low immune system. So the surgeon actually came round, and I love a surgeon. Miss Paterina, her name is. She's lovely. Never in a million years would you look at that woman and think she's a surgeon. She's so nice. She's so nice. And I explained about the water infection. She said, oh no, don't worry. She said, while Isabelle is under, we'll make sure that we give her a course of antibiotics as well, just in case, for the water infection. He's like, great, because we were worried then that we'd drove on all the way down there, we'd psyched ourselves up. We'd got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, we left the house at about 6:15. Isabelle was she had to be starved. I had to take a full suitcase and about 2 or 3 bags with me. I even packed the newest Clara Markova colouring book, and I think I took my Lightfast pencils actually. Didn't touch it once. I did get the new Kirby book. I paid for the quicker delivery from the Works shop, and Danny brought it to the hospital so I could have a little look. Again, I won't go into too much detail. If you want my opinion on that book, I'll happily make a video just dedicated to that. But I know that it's flying around everywhere, and there's a lot of mixed opinions, shall I say. So I won't say what I think just yet. I don't think. Be able to go in with a darker shade of this in a minute. And I don't think I sharpened it. Yeah, so we got there at the hospital, and she said no, it won't be a problem. So the anaesthesiologist came back in, and they asked us about the last time she got put under, which was when she had Botox in her saliva glands. Which did they give her PreMeds basically? And I said yes. I said, but you have to give them to me to give to Isabelle, because she won't take them off anybody other than me and my husband. I said, right, that's fine. She said, what was she like? And I said she was more or less like giddy and almost drunk. I know it sounds terrible, but that's what she was like. And they asked, did she go to sleep by the time they took her down to the theatre? And I said no. I said no, they didn't. So they give her 2 doses of PreMeds. So, well, I did technically. And within about 15 minutes, the poor girl was zonked out in the room, which it turns out that was a bad thing. So yeah, she's all happy there. And within, you can see the dates there actually, 17th. And that's completely and utterly, yeah, drugged up. So we managed to change her into a gown, and we give her a favourite toy back. Let me just double check. There she is again. And this one, right, so this one is waking up, so I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, the procedure took, I think it was 2 to 3 hours, but she was actually away from us. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It was like 6 hours that she was away from us, and we were panicking at one point. Once she'd been knocked out with the PreMeds, I went down to the theatre with her. I mean, she was still asleep at that point, but it still doesn't make it any nicer. And there was the nurses and the staff at Alder here at Liverpool are just amazing. Like, asking constantly, was I alright? And I'm one of them people, if the worst thing that you could do is say, are you alright to me? And then I'll start welling up. You better off just ignoring me and I'll be fine. So they give her all the medication to actually put her to sleep. And then I went back to Danny, we got a little bit of breakfast, and it was just a case of walking around the hospital. And at Alderhay they've got this, they've got it at Manchester as well apparently. It's a charity run, like home away from home sort of thing. So you've got your room, your bed, a little mini TV, you've got a communal kitchen, somewhere to wash your clothes, somewhere to just like a living room of sorts. But as soon as we walked in the room, it was just 2 single beds, and we both looked at each other. Isabelle needs a profile bed. She needs a bed that can go up and down and has side supports that are all padded. It's just for her safety. So we knew instantly that we couldn't use that the week after the initial being in hospital on the ward for a solid week. I'm waiting actually for the questionnaire, because the nurse did say to me, are you going to use the Mac house? I said no. I said, other than nipping over there to kill an hour or two, I said we can't sleep there with Isabelle because it's not suitable. So I'm looking forward to getting that questionnaire, because you think they'd have 1 or 2 beds available, like take them from the hospital if they're not being used, because they knew months in advance that Isabelle was coming in. So yeah, we get to the waiting and it was longer than we got told. Obviously we start worrying and we start asking, and it was because she was, so they take her into theatre, they do the surgery, they stitch her back up, and then they take them into recovery to then wake them up, and then once they've woken up they take them to the ward, and that's when we would have been reunited with her. But because they'd given her the pre-med, which was 2 different ones, it completely and utterly zonked her out. So they took me down to the recovery area, which usually they don't do, and a nurse was, she had cotton, like tissue paper, and she'd rolled it into like a point, and she was sticking it up Isabelle's nose and her ears, you know, just to try and simulate her to wake up. I don't know if that's the right word. But nothing was working, absolutely nothing. And I think I was sat in that recovery for over an hour. It might have been over an hour and a half. Just like singing, putting different things on YouTube, just trying to make noise. Nothing was waking her up, and we were starting to worry. So the nurse that was sat with me, she ended up contacting the anaesthesiologist to come down and check on her. All the vital signs were absolutely fine. And the little monkey, as soon as we spoke to that person, she started waking up. She did start waking up, luckily. So we ended up taking her back down to the ward, and I don't actually remember this video, to God's honest truth. There's a lot of these things that I don't remember, but I don't know if this wasn't straight after, clearly, because she's talking of her fashion.
Hi. You've been very brave, haven't you?
I have to keep the noise down. Isabelle's right there.
Yeah. Do you want anything else? Do you want a drink? I do.
Yeah, so it's so that's that day. Yeah, so this is still the 17th, and that is 6 minutes past 8 at night. Now I thought, we ended up buying a portable DVD player. She watched it that once, she won't watch it again. She just wanted the iPad. And I thought she'd struggle sleeping with having mummy in the room, because it's never happened before. I was double checking. Yeah, so that was 9 minutes past, and every single night we did have a almighty kick-off, which I won't go too much into detail, but it wasn't fun. But by 23 minutes past 10, I did manage to get her to sleep. Now, she was hooked up. She had they called an IV. She was hooked up to that machine there to keep her on liquids and the pain meds and stuff for the first day, which was fine. That iPad that you can see there in the background, that's what I used to watch videos, and I had it was like a Hoover noise that I had on. Let me see if I can find it. And this is what I had to sleep with every single night, as well as sleeping on what I can only explain was a board. It was a wooden couch with the thickness like that of sponge. Ugh, this is it. Why are the ads playing on my videos now? I pay for premium, and for the last couple of hours it's been popping up with adverts, so I don't understand what's going on. Let it get to the second one. I forgot how annoying adverts are. Anybody that watches the adverts, thank you very much. but I can't stand them, so I pay for the extra thing. Right, here we go. Near it. That's what I listen to every single night going to sleep. So let me just have a quick drink break. I am having a glass of wine because I think I've bloody earned it. So before I carry on, let me pop a little bit of cinnamon down. So yeah, that was night 2, I do believe. And then we get to... See, I've not took pictures every single day. This is funny, like, there she is still with the IV. This is one of the days I've got a camera on the dog just because I'm a weird dog mum and I like to keep an eye on it, and I caught this. Like my husband there. He was a trooper as well all the way through this, honestly. So she ended up being kept on the IV, and then because obviously she'd had surgery, they had to come in every 4 hours for the medication, and then it was every hour for that machine that she was hooked up on. So, and I'm a really light sleeper, and where we were, right, so our room was here, the nurse's station was right there, and the medicine, it weren't a cupboard, it was, you had to open a door, was right there. So you heard the nurses talking all night like it was in the middle of the day, and then that door constantly opening and shutting, and it needed WD-40. It creaked, it banged. By the Thursday, the day before we left, I ended up pulling one of the nurses up and just saying, listen, I've not properly slept, please will you keep the noise down. And I can't even remember what her response was, but I don't think they were too happy with me. But at that point, I nearly lost my rag with them. I did. She only took off that IV, I think it was day 3, because she was refusing to drink any sort of water, cordial, anything, so they were concerned that she wasn't getting enough liquid. So this is all while she was laid up for the first 2 or 3 days. It's going to be difficult for me to remember absolutely everything and try and get it in the right order, but yeah, she had to be permanently lied down, so it was quite difficult feeding her and giving her a drink in the first place anyway. Luckily, she would eat, well, the only thing that she would eat, she would have Cocoa Pops for her breakfast, and then she would have a jacket potato with beans and butter for dinner. That's it. She refused like the pizza or anything else that they tried, and to be fair to her, it didn't look very nice. I think Dad bought her a McDonald's one of the days because she was refusing to eat, and we said, listen, if we brought a McDonald's up here, she would 1,000,000% eat something. I want to add a little bit of pink to this. So yeah, just to prove a point, we got her a Madonnas Wonder. Yeah, she ate it all. So yeah, they kept her on this this IV, the floated, and then my father-in-law came down to come and visit her, and he said, do you need anything, do you want anything? And I said, oh, like grapes and strawberries, blah, about like sandwiches, that sort of stuff. And then I messaged him back, or I rang him back, or I can't remember, and I said, please can you get some apple juice, because usually at home she loves apple juice, and for some reason it slipped my mind. And he went to M&S on the way down, and she drank a full jug, I mean, and they're all like this big, full jug of her cordial. So we put apple juice in it and watered it down a little bit with water so it wasn't too intense for her. Drunk the whole thing. So that day we ended up taking her off the liquid, but something happened that I can't remember why. Something happened because they ended up taking the IV out and they put it back in the other arm. I can't remember the reason why, honest to God. I wasn't in the room when they put it back in. But let me find the picture where it all swelled back, it all swelled up. I don't know if I still got it. I deleted a lot of pictures that I didn't want to remember. I think I've deleted it. But all her arms swelled up like a balloon, and it was all red to the touch. Oh, here it is. So yeah, come on camera. And I noticed it, and I was touching it and thinking, that's not right, that, and I wasn't in the room when they did it. So I shouted one of the nurses and they came in and they said, it's a good job you caught that. So they ended up taking it out. I can't remember the reason that they put it back in. I don't know if she weren't taking the meds or she'd stopped drinking the apple juice, or it was something along the lines of that. So yeah, I'm skipping ahead a couple of days, but like I said, I'm just... fun fact, look at this. That's me and my son. That's when I used to be skinner. Yeah, so I skipped ahead a couple of days, but like I said, it's all very confusing. I've got some really nice photos here that I wanted to share. She was having a whale of a time. The bed was like what the bed that she's got at home. These slats here, because she's not used to sleeping with anyone in the room, like I'd settle her down after she got upset, and I was just reading every single night because I didn't want the light on. I had this little tiny night lights so I could see my book. And then I just turned over and you could see her facing this way with a big massive smile staring at me. Like, honest to God, go to sleep, child. Like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, she was happy as Larry watching catchphrase every single day. She's even got a little certificate, a catchphrase certificate, and she's just been a little flipping trooper through this. I don't know. Right, I will put a warning up. I'm going to pause the video so I remember. So I'm going to put a warning up here, just in case you don't like anything like with blood and incisions basically. So warning, if you don't like it, skip ahead about 20 seconds or so. So this is her incision site. It's probably about that big on her back. So you can imagine how big that looks on such a little girl. The camera is not... There we go. Is it because of the light? Let me turn the light off, because I actually want to zoom in and show you. There we go. So what they did is they've obviously gone through her spine there, and they've actually took a bit of bone out, and they she had pinpricks all over her legs, her groin, and that was to check the nerves. It's all very, very complicated, but if you want to know, Google SDR surgery. It's quite complicated. But here and here, it's sort of lumped, and I asked why is it that it's lumped, and what they've done, they've folded over the tissue and the skin to obviously protect the area, because it's major surgery at night. I'm pretty sure that I've took a more up-to-date picture, yeah, of the scar, so we'll keep going through, otherwise I will get confused. She's looking a bit too pink. It's been weeks and weeks since I've properly coloured as well, especially bloody skin. So it might take me a little while this. So yeah, that's that was the first time actually that we took it off and I got to see it, because the doctors were round. I think every day the doctors were round. It was different times every day. So you'd go from just me and Isabelle in the room, and there'd be like 7 or 8 doctors, which was brilliant. You know, she's being looked after, but it was very overwhelming, not just for Isabelle but for me. And they're saying all these scientific words, and I'm like trying to keep Isabelle quiet, and they're expecting me to listen, and I'm like, oh, really stressful. Really stressful. Yeah, so that's when the physio started. So she had the surgery the Friday. So we had the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday off, where she was just healing. She had to be flat on her back. And then I think it was the Wednesday, Thursday, let me check, the 23rd. 23rd, yeah. So she had the Saturday, the Sunday, the Monday, the Tuesday off, just to try and recover. And then they started the physio on the Wednesday. So this is her sitting up on a little bench. We've got one of these at home, and that's called like a wiggle board, and it makes her balance. Now, where they did the physio, you had to, at all the hair, it's got a massive open bit when you walk out the car park. I'm terrible at explaining. I'm going to colour the eyes, because the eyes are the funnest part for me. And I'm going to give her green eyes, because I just want to do something fun. I'm not stressing myself out over the skin. Yeah, so you have to walk past Costa, and then you get to the lifts, and you have to go down into the basement to where the physio is. And I swear to God, every time I press that down button, that child knew where we was going instantly, and she'd start getting upset. She'd not like full blown, you know, padder, but she'd start getting upset. And the first couple of times we were there, I had to sit and wait in reception because I didn't realise I could just go straight into the gym. Because she was an impatient, I didn't realise that I could do that. So that's, she got upset then, and then the screaming started once we walked into the gym. And I'm not going to go too much into detail, but if you've got a child with additional needs that is non-verbal, and you're trying to understand that you're only doing something that's fun, like you're just playing games, and you just want them to do just a little bit of work, even bribery. You know, if you're good, you can get an Easter egg. If you're good, we'll watch all the programmes. You know, I'll watch Catchphrase for an hour with you and guess with you, whatever. Nothing worked. And I just can't explain how stressful it was, and how happy I am now that it's over. That it's over, and I was saying, really, it is over, but it's not over because we've got other things next week. But when we managed to calm her down, it's like you have to find something that sparks her interest, and then she's happy, she's beautiful, and she's a pleasure to work with. But if you don't find that thing quick enough, it's basically World War III, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they wanted like an hour physio out of her, and then they wanted me to put her in the standing frame for at least an hour a day. So we decided to cut it up into 2 sessions of half an hour standing frame. So it was going from doing the physio, and sometimes she was alright and sometimes she wasn't, then trying to get her in the standing frame. And it's very, very, very difficult to get a child of her size into a standing frame. I had to get the staff to help me every time to pick her up because I can't do it anymore. I could get her out by myself, but I couldn't put her in. So the times that she did do physio, like I said, she did incredibly well. That's another one of her balancing on a board. I just need to check because there's some that I can't show you with the staffing. That's when we left physio. Still got the iPad and still watching Catchphrase. Oh, musicians came into the room. Now, I'm quite a sociable person, but I didn't know where to put my face. I felt a little bit embarrassed, sort of. I don't know why it's silly. I know it's silly, but Isabelle seemed to enjoy it. So they came in doing singing. We only saw them the once as well. The whole time that we was there, we only saw them the once. I'm going to have to work on this skin again, aren't I? I just feel like I've lost the skin. I've lost the touch with the skin. So where are we up to? Yeah, that's the certificate that she got given when we left the ward. I mean, it was mostly same old same every single day, and she got slightly better. And I don't want to talk too much about the negative, but it was difficult. I didn't wash my hair in a week. In a week. Because it was just like, by the time that like 8 o'clock came and I knew I had to deal with the meltdown of going to bed, I was just like, I really can't be bothered spending like half an hour trying to do my hair, and she's screaming in the room. So that first night that we got back, I had the longest shower and washed my hair. That might sound horrible, but I had other things on my mind. We had a couple of family visitors. They were all my husband's side of the family. I don't think any. No, none of my family came and visited her, which was unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we get to discharge day. I'm just trying to think if I've missed. Oh my god, the day before discharge I said, would it be possible to use the wet room, because we've not got a wet room at home and we can't get Isabelle upstairs. Even though we've got a stair lift, she can't go in it because of obviously surgery. Would it be possible to use the wet room? Yep. My husband stayed in the room and I got one of the nurses to help me, and the nurse actually said to me, I've worked here for 4 years and never actually used this wet room. Yeah, so that made me feel a million times better. So the bed that it's on, it's like a plastic, almost plastic. So as I'm trying to clean her, she's sliding down the bed, so I'm trying to hold her and wash her hair at the same time. That was just an ordeal. And then getting her in a wheelchair, we wrapped in towels because there was nowhere to dry her. I've got a mobile hairdresser coming tomorrow, and she's having a bob cutting because she's got really beautiful long hair. She can't wear it down, and it's more hassle than it's worth to try and maintain it, so it's all being chopped off tomorrow, which, yep, I'll be very, very upset about it because I love her hair, but needs must. So yeah, day of discharge, she got that certificate, that catchphrase certificate, because that's basically, she watched the 3 same episodes of Catchphrase, and me and Danny keep joking now saying that she loves Vernon, what's his name, Vernon K, because he's in the episode. What other ones have we got? I've got a video here.
You don't want to go?
I need to go.
You don't want to go?
No.
You don't want to go?
Because you're gonna go.
What? What did you say? You don't want to go?
I need to go.
Right, okay.
Because to go.
Really?
The way that I explain Isabelle's talking is very much like a toddler learning to talk. It's a bit of a gobbledygook, and occasionally you get the odd word, but her understanding is not very good, unfortunately. I think, yeah, I took a picture. That was the night that I pulled the nurses up, because she was strapped to this machine again, and I said, surely she doesn't need to be on this. She was so many days post-op, they didn't need to come in every hour, and that was the night that I was just like, I'm running out of steam here. You need to give me a break. And then the next day after that, I felt like the worst mum in the world. My husband kept saying, you know, you needed your sleep, don't worry about it. You know, she's still alive, don't worry. I just feel like at the moment, what on earth am I doing with this skin? So, what was that? That was the 24th. Let me check the date of that. So, this was the day of leaving the hospital, and you can see how tired she is. We were very, very, very scared putting her in this car seat, because we can't pick her up the same way anymore. We have to sort of scoop her up instead of lifting her up underneath her arms, and we was very, very scared. But on the plus, when I got back from hospital, I was not complaining, but I was saying to my husband, I'd love to play the new Harry Potter, the Legacy game, but we had the Xbox One that was borrowed actually from my dad, and it wouldn't run that new game, and he actually bought one. He bought one for when I got back home. I had an inkling that he did buy it, because when I was looking at the Rollo camera, I heard him and my son talking about something to do with an Xbox, so I put 2 and 2 together. I did tell him, I told him that I knew. And currently I've spent 13 hours on and off since coming back home playing that game. I love it, I absolutely love it. I've actually got him playing it as well. He's downstairs as we speak playing on it. Here's another one, so that's the day after, the 25th, and she's having an Easter egg. Come on camera. She's having an Easter egg and having the time of her life. The live pictures are dead good, aren't they? So where are we up to? Right, so she has to wear gaiters every single day, which now I feel even terrible because I forgot what we have had a busy day today, but I forgot to put them on her. I'm going to tell my husband when I go down, but she's meant to wear these 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day. She actually fell asleep. I put the Hoover noise on the iPad. She was exhausted. Actually, I started doing the Hoover and around her, and I could see her drifting off, so I thought, oh, I'll put the noise on the iPad, and she did. She nodded off. So the reason for these, there's 2 separate pieces. The cream piece here, and then this piece here. It's all velcroed in. They want to keep her ankles, feet and legs in a straight position, because that'll help with the surgery. Now, between coming back home, we came back home on the Friday. Yeah, we came back home on the Friday. We had the weekend off, Saturday, Sunday. We didn't do barely anything. I refused to leave the house. I didn't want to leave the house. I think as far as I went, it was just a walk around the block, just to get a bit of fresh air. After the week that I had, I was like, nope. We had a nice takeaway as well each night. There was no way I was cooking. And then it came to Monday, and all the appointments were like 8:30 in the morning, and then there was another one at 1 o'clock. So my husband had to drop me off early in the morning before he went to work and before the physio appointments, and I had to stay in the hospital by myself all day with Isabelle until the afternoon appointment, and then he'd come and pick us up about 4 o'clock every day, and then we'd go home. And that week was more stressful than being in hospital because of her behaviour. She loved sitting in the foyer, people watching, but as soon as you went anywhere near that lift to do the physio, it was a no-no. And it was so incredibly stressful, and I dread to think the next time she has to have any sort of surgery. And my husband has said to me, he said, I'll take my hats off, I wouldn't have been able to do what you did. I'm going to have to take a break as well because I think I'm going to start the hair. Yeah, so being dropped off at like 8:30 in the morning, the physio times changed every single day, and then it was just trying to fill up the space in the afternoons, and we'd literally spend hours just in the foyer because she enjoyed people watching, and I'd sit there with my book for a little bit. I even took my colouring book, but my head just was not with it. And then we'd just walk around the hospital. We'd walk over to that Mac house just for a walk over there. I literally had every single Marks and Spencer's sandwich you can think of, because there was a WH Smith's shop in there and it sold them sandwiches. And yeah, I was just so glad that week was over. I was joking to my neighbour because I had to go around to pick a diamond painting up. I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself, and I had a coupon as well. And I got myself a new diamond painting, and I ended up nipping round there, and she said, it looks like quite intense physio that you've been doing with Isabelle. So don't ask. Don't ask, seriously. I was joking and saying I had a bottle of wine with my name on it, and I was, oh. Yeah, it was incredibly stressful. So fast forward to, I'm not going to go too much into detail with that. Like I said, I would rather just forget it. There was a couple of good things that happened regarding what Isabelle managed to do with her body. I will talk about that in a little bit. So we fast forward to this current week that we're on now. So last weekend we didn't do much again. It was just the same. I refuse to really go out the house unless I need to after the week that I've had. So yeah, this week has been hydrotherapy every day. So it's going into a really nice warm pool, and they showed me this pool before. So the week before, while I was doing physio, I requested it and I said, can I see the pool just to get my head around it? And I had a couple of questions, you know, about drying her hair and how they're going to transfer her and get her into the pool, because she can't obviously walk in there. And they've got amazing setup, like a little trolley, and they lower it into the water. The water's got lights everywhere, they can make it dark, they've got music, and I thought, oh my god, she's going to absolutely love this. Because when she's been swimming in school, they've always reported back that she's, you know, been a bit whingy when it comes to getting her changed, but the actual going into the pool, she loved it. So I was like, oh right, well, something to look forward to. And luckily, my husband booked all this week off work, because I knew, you know, how stressful last week and the week before would have been, so he booked this week off. And we agreed that I would have Tuesday and Wednesday off. I would not leave the house. I would work on my YouTube. I said, I'm falling behind. I just want to sit in my room and either just film, or I'll do like a time lapse, and I can be listening to my true crime, or I've been doing a lot of reading as well. I'll just read a book in bed and just not do anything. But when Monday rolled round and we got there, we had to take her into the standing frame for half an hour. No, she was in for about 45 minutes, sorry, beforehand, which he saw a glimpse. We walked into the gym and she'd already started crying. He saw a glimpse of the tantrums that I'd been dealing with for like 2 weeks solid at that point. And we managed to calm her down, you know, just messing around with her, bribing her with food of a fashion, you know, just had crisp and whatnot in front of her. That kid though chooses fruit over crisp. I'm tired. So yeah, we take her out of there and we take her to Hydro, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, she's gonna love this. She might get a bit upset with the transfer, with getting out of a chair and getting onto the trolley and getting her changed. But I swear to god, it was like she made the exorcist look good. We took her out of her chair and I've never seen anything like it. I've never experienced anything like it. My younger brother's got special needs, so I've grown up seeing tantrums, but honest to God, you've never seen anything like it. At one point I thought she was going to break her ankles because she was forcing her feet down that hard and they were twisted. It's not nice. And they get her into the pool and they still don't manage to calm her down. But after about, I want to say about 15-20 minutes of her getting really upset and trying to scratch the physios and, you know, just behaving quite badly, she calmed. They got her to calm down. They were just singing her nursery rhymes and she was splashing and she was smiling. And then they turned around and she spotted me and Dad at the side of the pool sitting down on a chair, and that was it. It was started again. So then Tuesday come, we had to hide behind a wall basically, and every day it's got slightly better, but we've not managed to see her. We've not managed to see her, apart from one of the physios popping around and going, she's got her back to you. We'd quickly bother her head round just to see how she were doing, but we didn't really get to see the smiles and the giggles and what she were doing. I said to them, they need like that, you know, like I watch a lot of true crime, you know, like is it perforated glass where you can see through one side and you can't see through the other? They should have that in there for this sort of thing, because we haven't got to experience any of it. But tomorrow they don't want to put her in the trolley because the skirt of her, number one, hurting herself, because like I said, she nearly broke her ankle. She was forcing down that hard, her feet were coming in on themselves. So they don't want to do that. They want to try a different solution tomorrow, which I'm quite interested to see. She's still going to have a meltdown, getting her undressed, and she gets herself into such tizzy, and she sometimes holds her breath as well, and that's always fun. And today, while TMI, she was screaming, I noticed she had white spots at the back of her throat. I told my husband, and I rung the doctors. As soon as we got out of that appointment, I rung the doctors, and she said it sounds like tonsil stones, because I'm saying she's not wincing, she's still eating, she's not got a temperature, she's not coughing, nothing. And she said, go to the pharmacy. Anyway, to cut the long story short, we think she's got oral thrush, and that is because she's, like I said, mentally she's like a 2-year-old maybe, and she's just exploring that area, and she keeps putting her hands down her nappies and then she's putting it in her mouth and her face. I know it sounds horrible, but just being honest here, that's what we're going through as well. And you tell her no and she thinks it's the funniest thing in the world just to carry on doing it, and she doesn't listen. So I've actually resorted now. I've ordered a load of M&S adaptive, like specialist clothing, like baby grows basically, so she can't do it. But I know what she's like, she'll end up breaking them and doing it still. So yeah, she's on medication for that. She's on a really strong painkiller. Oh god, what's that called? Pregabalin, that we give her twice a day. We had to, it was like properly sealed and everything. We had to sign stuff when we took it, and we have to actually wean her off it, which we need to speak to them tomorrow, because they've given us the paperwork and it tried to explain, but it's like the paperwork that you give to a doctor. Even my husband doesn't understand it, so we need to speak to them tomorrow at discharge. So yeah, we need to up the dose or something before we can lower it. I don't fully understand, but we'll find out tomorrow. And then she's occasionally on paracetamol and ibuprofen when we see her. The only way that we know that she's in pain is if she's wincing, or she's pulling a funny face, or she's getting upset for no reason that we can think of. Then you have to just put it to she's in pain. So that gets me to, what has she benefited? What has she benefited from her going through all this pain, and me basically mental pain, because it's not physical pain. It's just been hard work, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. On that note, I'm gonna have a quick break. I've lost my train of thought now, so I'll go back to the pictures. I think I was saying I was gonna explain the benefits of the surgery, but I'll go through a couple more pictures. They've got, I'm out of breath, I've just run upstairs. They've got a therapy dog as well, and she loved her. She was called Molly, I think. Molly, that's her trying to touch her. I'm desperate to get another dog, can you tell? She was dead cute, so soft and so good with her. That was it. Oh, Holly her name was, sorry, Holly. She got a sticker. I think that's one of the days as well. She loves beans. I ended up buying her a plate of beans for breakfast and she ate them all. There's a couple of videos here that I took to show my husband of the meltdowns. Obviously I'm not going to show them. But this is a good physio session. Never in a million years did I think that I'd see her doing that with her hands. Her hands, her left hand usually is like this. Because of the high muscle tone, it just causes it to do that. Sometimes when she's relaxed, like for instance now when she's in bed, can I see her hands? Oh, you can't make them out. She's got them at her sides, but they'll be relaxed when she's in bed. But once she's awake and she's got a mind set to something, her hands ball up and come to her body. So that is incredible to me. Yes, they're holding it down, but that's incredible to me that she's managing to do that. We need to buy one of these. I said, oh, what do they call them for buying them? And the price of like specialist equipment and stuff, as soon as you say like disabled, just smack a couple of notes on the end of it. It's ridiculous. Here's another good one. So see what I mean? We got really good physio out of her. When she was playing ball and actually behaving, we got absolutely superb. And that's her. Afterwards she's like, yep, Mum, I'm tired, just leave me. She's doing side sitting there, you can't properly see, but she's doing good side sitting. And then straight after, the little monkey is tolerating the standing frame. So even though, you know, it has been difficult, hats off to this little girl. She's tolerated so much. And I think it's the amount of times that like doctors coming in, prodding and poking her, taking blood, and I just think, how did she do it?
Isabelle, where's Daddy?
This is another nice one.
You're leaking that way. Where is it? Where is it? You have to shake him. Isabelle? Daddy! Yeah, he's not
This is the
here.
place that I took her and she just loved people watching.
Where is it? Where is he?
Yeah, that's one of the days that he actually turned up late. I think he was either got stuck in traffic or he got held up. He was unbelievably stressed with work. He had this massive job on that was worth like millions and millions for the company, and he had all this on as well, coming back and forth to the hospital. I'll quickly say the colour names because I'm going to write these down. These are the light fast, like I said, Mars Black, Autumn Brown, Burnt Sienna and Sienna, just in case you want to know what colours that I've used for the hair. Yeah, so hats off to him that he managed to juggle all that as well as coming to hospital every single day. Yeah, hats off to Daniel. So I think he's glad that it's nearly over and done with. It's not technically, but it's closer over and done with than it's not. Another one of her at home with the gaiters on and little Rolo. That dog was so excited to see us when we got home. We groomed her last weekend. It's not a really good job, but it's better. And I missed her so much. I was even FaceTiming her. Now there's a picture here. I can show you this one. They give us like a shower cap and it's got like a dry shampoo. It's not a dry shampoo because it's wet. I don't know what you call it. But to wash your hair at home because we can't get her into the bath. So I can show you this one because she's covered up. And she's got a towel over it and she hated it. I've got a video as well.
What's up? But he's washing your hair.
You're getting her washed with it on.
Do you not like it then?
Just her, the only words that she's learnt is no and no and no. Another one where she's doing really well in the standing frame and tolerating it, super duper. This is where we actually, at rare occasion that we went into the Mac house, that charity house that I was explaining. Normal single bed, she could roll out of that and she would not be able to get up off the floor. I couldn't even run to the toilet. That's how not suitable it was. But she's got a towel there because I forgot a plate with banana. Told you she'd choose banana and strawberries and grapes or anything else. I got into bed at the side of her thinking, oh yeah, she'll go to sleep. And these are the few pictures that I took of me and her. You see how tired she looks, but no, she refused to go to sleep. Back home again, watching Catchphrase with her gaiters on. What else have we got? I actually shared that on Instagram. Yep, back at the hospital, waiting for appointments. You see how happy she is watching people. It's comical actually. They had the Easter bunny there today. Yeah, that's the one. Had the Easter bunny there, so I thought I'd snap a picture and look at her face. Was it this one or the other one? No, it's the other one. Watch your face. What are you doing to me, Mum? What on earth are you doing to me? That's all the pictures that I've took. So I'm going to talk about what it's actually benefited, and it'll be quite difficult because obviously you're not seeing what I'm talking about. But when Isabelle used to be able to, when she used to sit up, she couldn't sit up independently. It'd be, she could sit up for 5 seconds and fall over. She could sometimes sit up for 1 minute and fall over. It was all dependent on the day, how tired she was, what mood that she was in, that sort of thing. And she'd very much sit, she'd sit frog-legged, so her legs were literally, instead of being straight when you sit, they were like this. I mean, she still does that, but her back, instead of it being straight, like when you'd sit up, like I'm sitting in this chair now straight, this would be her head and she'd have a curve to the spine. And that would be all the time, whether she was doing the sitting up practice, or she was in an everyday seat or a wheelchair, anything. That's how she'd sit, like this. Now, since day 3 of the surgery, she sat like this. It's incredible. She's so much taller. You can tell she's so much more comfortable. She's in less pain as well now. You can 100% tell because she's started sleeping slightly better as well. Oh, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, she started sleeping slightly better, and we're thinking it's because she's not in pain, but because she's always had this pain since day 1 and she's non-verbal, she was probably just used to it, and it makes me feel awful now, absolutely awful, because she must have been in agony at times with the high muscle tone and the spasms and everything, and me and her dad didn't know, basically didn't know. So it's helped with the pain, it's helped with the posture, and she was lying down on the rug and she's managed to pull her leg up and hold her foot. She's never managed to do that before the surgery, and that's something I know that a baby does, but Isabelle could never do it because of her problems. So apart from that, there's not other things that we thought, oh my god, that's completely different. We've not noticed that, but we could see the changes for years to come, years and years to come. So I'm really, I'm going to add a different colour. I'm really positive, which is not like me, that I think that we're going to see other changes. This is Yellow Ochre. We're going to see other changes. And I actually got speaking to another woman. Her daughter had it done and she was 7, whereas Isabelle's 6. She was verbal and she was a wheelchair user, but she could stand up and use a walker as well. And she said her friend's daughter was very similar to Isabelle, and after a year and a half, so 18 months, she started speaking, not speaking like me and you speaking today, like her words were more clearly, you understood her more. She was understanding, like if she wanted a drink, she'd say drink, or if she'd been to the toilet, she'd say like nap it, that sort of thing. And I've said from day 1, if I had to choose between walking and talking, I'd pick talking any day, because half of the time when my daughter gets upset, it's because she can't communicate and let me know what it is that she's needing. So if she's getting upset and I'm changing the channel on the programme, or offering her different food, or changing a nappy, or giving her, she doesn't want that. Maybe she wants to be too quiet to have a stretch because her legs are hurting. It's literally a guessing game of what does Isabelle need. So I'm keeping everything crossed. Everything crossed that happens for us. How pretty is that hair colour? It goes really nicely as well with the flowers. Me and my husband as well have been getting really into the gardening. Since moving in this house, the garden was quite well established, where in the old house it was just grass. That were grass everywhere, but there's lovely trees here. I bought bird feeders and really nice like summer plants and solar lights. The dog really likes it as well in that garden. So we've been doing a lot of that, and I'm hoping this weekend I want to go out and buy a bench for the front of the house, because that's where it hits the sun the most, the front of the house. And I want to get a little bench, and then in the summer evenings when it's nice weather and Isabelle's in bed, I can sit out there at the front, because my neighbours are dead nice. We didn't have that at the old house. You know, and socialise a little bit. Because I don't. The only people I socialise is Kirsty. A couple of family members when I do see them, and then my husband. That's probably it. But I think I'm going to end the colouring chat here. I'm hoping that it's not a mega long video. There's probably bits that I've missed out and forgot about, but all I can say that it's been a really, really testing time. Both me and my husband were saying, are we doing the right thing before we went ahead with this, and we were saying it during while she was already under knife. One thing I will add, like I said, her surgeon was so nice, and when she came round to let us know that the surgery was a success and everything went right, because there was a couple of things that could have gone wrong and she could have actually come out of the surgery being worse than she was. I give her a massive hug. I'm a hugger. And she weren't like, she didn't look uncomfortable or anything, she just gave me a big smile. She's lovely. I'll find out tomorrow as well when we have to take her back. I think it's in 6 months to 12 months, 2 years. It goes all the way up to when she's 10 years old. It's something like that anyway. But once tomorrow's out of the way, and I think we'll probably be back on at 3. We've got a mobile hairdresser coming round at 4 to cut Isabelle's hair. She's having a bob. I'm going to actually inquire for her to do my hair as well, because I've not been to the hairdressers now in 7 months. 7 months, and I feel, you know, when you feel a bit ick, I just need somebody to sort my hair for me, and then we've got the Easter weekend to look forward to. We're taking it to Chester Zoo these days and my husband's off, and then next week we've actually got physio at the local clinic. But I did warn the physio, I will happily ring Isabelle down, but that doesn't mean that she's going to do the work for you. She doesn't like the physios round here, and that's another story. That is another story for another day. But I'm hoping that there won't be too much of a gap between this. I'm going to have to upload this probably tomorrow now, because it's like 10:15 at night and I need to go to bed. I promised my niece that I'd start reading a new book, and I'm still sat here talking. So it'll probably be, what day are we? Wednesday. It'll be Thursday some point that you see this. So I'm hoping you might possibly see a video by Monday, Tuesday next week, and then the week after that it's back to normal. Back to normal. I can't wait to hear myself think. So if you are here at the end of the video, please do leave one of my favourite emojis, a dinosaur emoji, just to let me know that you're here at the end of the video and you've enjoyed listening to me ramble on and the struggles of what it's been like. Obviously I'm not going into too much detail about the really bad stuff, but I'm just happy that it's over. I'm happy that she come through it and it was a success. I'm happy that she's healing beautifully. Yeah, I'm just happy to be home and have it all over and done with, and I'm just dreading the next one, because the next one is hip surgery, which that's not going to be fun either. But yeah, on to more positive things. So I will see you in my next video, whenever that will be. Take care. Bye.